All right, moving on and shifting our focus to South Africa, where Prime Minister is attending the G-20 summit, and these are the visuals coming in there with the Brazilian President, Prime Minister meeting with the top leaders there. Prime Minister, in fact, described his discussion over the last one day and engagement with the top leaders, global leaders, as productive. On social media, he's also posted that I took part in 2 sessions and shared my view on key issues. Also had productive meeting with many world leaders, and that is something that you can see on the screen. In fact, during his address at the summit yesterday as well, Prime Minister pushed for sustainable and inclusive global development. He said existing growth parameters have deprived large sections of the world of resources and led to overexploitation of the nature as well. And he highlighted that there is a need to adopt integral humanism is what remained the focus. The Prime Minister made 4 major proposals as well. Let me go across to my colleague Srinjoy to put all this into perspective. Srinjoy, we're getting in visuals from the G20 summit of the Prime Minister meeting with the top global leaders.
Yes, this is Prime Minister with President Lula of Brazil. Now, India and Brazil have a lot in common. For just to start with, both countries face 50% tariff from the United States. But besides that, they are, of course, member of BRICS, they are part of G20, and they are large South countries. Now, Brazil and India are working together on a lot of very important economic issues and also on climate change. Now, Brazil has the Amazon, which has to be protected, and Prime Minister has made it very clear that climate change is a priority. Both countries, of course, are very strong on counter-terrorism issues. Prime Minister has already spoken about narco-terrorism. What we also know is that India and Italy, for instance, will also be working on terror financing, an effort to stop terror financing. But as far as this meeting with President Lula is concerned, it is a particularly important meeting because both are big South countries, both have very important roles to play in sustainable development, and of course, both face a common problem, 50% tariff, courtesy President Donald Trump. Now, all this would have been on the agenda, and very important that President Lula and President Ramaphosa met with Prime Minister Modi, because this is also a separate meeting on the sidelines of G20, the IPSA meeting.
Right. Absolutely. And on focus is also the Global South. The visuals there on your screen of the Prime Minister meeting with the top global leaders, and we'll continue to track this very closely. Thanks so much, Srinjoy, for all the details. This remains the top focus story for us here on Times Now. Time for a very quick break.